finding necessarily or this is what I find important for me.
So all of us have some kind of story about who we are. As much as it starts with you, remember it starts with me.
What's going on, everybody? It is Joel Simmons back again for season 3 of It Starts With Me. We're going to have an interesting season this year. We've been talking about it. The crew and I have been talking about exactly what are we going to be bringing to the table and how will we bring it to the table. And we really hope that you're excited about the way that we package the information. We got lots of things that'll be happening in this new year. But in this first episode, we just want to start off with something very simple and to bring it to the forefront. It's all about what you're meant for. You know, the design of individuals and people and persons and personalities, for that matter, even myself, I believe that we are all designed for much, much more than what we are doing, more than what we have been giving, more. And it's like, how do you reach that potential? How do you get to that place where you are actually living in your more? And I think that is the thing. That's the thing that needs to be discussed. So it's like, what exactly does that mean? Well, I mean, think about it this way. You know, many of us are on a pathway, much like there was a man by the name of Saul. He's on this pathway, and when you think about him being on this pathway, you know, he's on this pathway, and he is going to do a specific thing because he believes in all his heart and all his mind and all his soul that what he is doing is exactly the right thing. And I don't know if you've ever been there before where you feel like what you're doing is right, but it isn't. And so he's on this pathway to do what he believes is right. And as he's going on this pathway, this light shines around him. And as it shines around him, he begins to realize inside of himself, you know, there's something greater that is going on, something much more prominent, something that is pulling me, is directing me to be greater than what I already am. And I need to recognize that. Have you ever been at some point in your life where you felt like the way you were going, it just kind of like knocked you off your course? Something knocked you off your course. Something stopped you, caused you to freeze. You know, sometimes it's sickness. Sometimes sickness will come about our life and it'll cause us to rethink exactly what am I doing? What is my purpose? Sometimes it's our jobs. You know, it's like we're working and then all of a sudden we need to rethink our purpose. Like, am I meant for this? Sometimes it's relationships that we're in, and we're in these relationships and we hit a wall in the relationship and we have to rethink, what exactly is my purpose here? What is my driving factor? What is my motive? What is my motive? And so I believe that it's in these moments and these times in life, you know, where we are dipping down into like this dark space, this darkness that comes about all human beings at some point in time. You know, sometimes we call it depression. But when we dip down into this, and please understand, this is a guy who has dealt with these dark places, you know. But I found that when I was in those dark places, it was not always because I was dipped into depression, you know. I mean, I was clinically, I was given the diagnosis of depression over 2 decades ago, but it's over 3 decades ago. But it's not like that now. And so as I was thinking about this and thinking about this exact subject, it dawned on me once again, you know, I had hit this low point and I thought that I was in the middle of depression, but I was not. And that was the kicker. It's like, well, where am I? And that's when I thought again, I'm thinking again, you know, about Saul. Saul was blinded on his way to a specific location, to Damascus. He was blinded. And in that moment, he recognized that it was his God that was calling him out of where he was to help him to get to where he needed to be. And that's when I realized also that sometimes when you're dipped down into this darkness and, you're doing all that you can do to do the right thing, it's not because you've entered into a state of depression. No, it's because you've entered into a state of placement, of separation. You are in a place of separation. God has separated you from all other things. He has put the pause button inside of your life, and He is causing you to contemplate, what is it that you are doing? What is your purpose? Do you know your purpose? And it's right then, where He's saying, let me help you with your purpose. I think that that's key. We've got to get to that point, right? And so I found that there was this one place, it's in the book of Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, 5th verse. And it's like, it talks about just doing the will, trust in the Lord with all that heart, lean not upon your own understanding. In that moment, we find that when you trust in God, to direct your path, that it becomes scary because God's invisible. You can't see Him. And this is what happened to Saul. He became blind and he had no idea which way he was going. And this is what happened to me. My life became dark. I didn't really understand what footstep I needed to take next. So in that moment, it's you have to start thinking more. You have to start accepting more. You have to start feeling more. In order to get where you want to be, sometimes you actually have to let go of what you think you need. And so this is just it's almost like this really troubling moment in life, but it's so it starts with me. Well, how am I going to be able to teach somebody else that they have to weather the storm, or that they have to try new things, or that they have to trust the process, if I'm not willing to do it myself, if I'm not willing to step in the blind myself? So, preparing for your journey, stepping into the blind, right? Stepping into the darkness. How do I prepare? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to empty yourself of your own psyche, of your own mind, of your own conscience, because everything that you bring to the table at this point, if you're in a point where the light of life is blinding you, or darkness is surrounding you, and there's nothing that you have done up to this point that has changed your life, or that has filled the void that you feel like you have, then that means that those things are not the things that take you forward. They may be the tools that you use later in life, but they're not the things that take you forward. No, there's something else. So empty your own mind. One of my mentors used to say, put your way in a trash can, right? Empty your mind, because the journey that you're going on, you have to repack your luggage. So you have to empty out your mind. You have to empty out your luggage. You have to empty it out. Maybe there's something still in there from the last trip that is not acceptable. You're going to get caught in customs, so to speak. If the mind were luggage, you're going to get caught in customs. And this is the same thing that happened to Saul, right? He's on his way and he's blinded, and then all of a sudden it's everything that he knew before is no longer going to help him. It's not going to assist him, because he has to move forward. He's got to become a new person, a new creature. And so empty yourself. And there's this one place in the book of Mark, it's the 9th chapter, the 24th verse, where a man cries out to the Lord because he's trying to accomplish something that he's never been able to accomplish before. And the words that he says is, he says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And that's where we are, right? Not that you don't believe you can make it. It's not that you don't believe that you're meant to be something. It's not that you don't believe. And maybe some of that doubt or that fear is wrapped up inside of you, and you're contending with it. You're contending with who am I? Who am I type of thing. But I'm here to tell you that you are meant for more. You're meant for more. But you have to understand that. You have to believe that. And when you cannot believe it, it's not about the belief that you have. It's about the belief that you don't have. It's about what you don't have. So it's like, empty me, empty me, because I'm meant for more. There's greater inside of me. There's greater inside of you. And so now we are here at the journey when I have declared to myself that, Lord, I'm an empty vessel. Yeah, I got belief, but my belief has only got me to this point, and I'm not able to go any further. What do I do? All right. So what do I do? I got to start my journey knowing that I am here to learn. I am here to grow. And if I'm here to learn, that means that there's something that I don't know. If I'm here to grow, it means that I need something to water me, to feed me. I need something more that may not all be inside of me. And if it is inside of me, I don't even know how to access it. So I need access points to what it takes for me to become greater, whether that is the environments that I'm going to be in, the people that I'm going to be around, the books that I'm going to read, my prayers, my meditation, my spirituality, my friends, my families. All of these things will make a big difference and impact you. Just like Saul, it was the people that he was with that carried him from that place of blindness to a place where he subjected himself to just learning who he ought to be, until there was somebody who could deliver the message to him and he could believe inside of his heart to grow into the great Apostle Paul. And that's the same thing for each one of us. In order for us to grow into the great individual that we are designed to be, that we are meant to be, we have to first become weak in the sense of being humble. We need to humble ourselves and recognize that there is more to this light than we understand. There is more to this light than we are able to deliver on our own merit. There is more to this light that we are able to completely and fulfill. But we can reach that higher level. We can go to the highest level if we simply empty ourselves and accept our weaknesses, because our weaknesses can be made the very strength of us. This is the change. It's where we find who we are, our purpose. We are designed more. We are meant for more. We are created in our Father's image, which means we are created in greatness. And in order to achieve that greatness, we are going to have to let go of our own ways and grab hold of something that is greater than ourselves, a wheelhouse that is larger than ours. And we're going to have to step into that darkness, trusting always that our greatness, that our God will guide us through, and believe in that, because in the midst of becoming weak is exactly where we become strong. I hope it is a blessing to you and to anyone and everyone wherever you are. Please, share, comment, like, reach out to me. Let me know what you're thinking. All right. Peace.